Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Facts number 377. New Rails. Ghost Reacts. There we go. Because reaction stuff is really popular. I think it might be going down, though. But, a lot of YouTubers went from gaming to reacting that were popular. And a lot of people say it's lazy content. But we don't do lazy content here. We're actually diving into Factorio new Rails today. And it's pretty exciting. I like this idea a lot, but we'll get into some of the technicals here. I did read ahead because I need to understand what they're doing, because they're going into like geometry and graphics and stuff. It's not something that's very interesting. What I think to summarize this whole Friday Facts is that we're going to get freeform Rails to a certain degree. They're going to allow S-Rail, S-turns. All right, so they're calling them S-bends right here. So let's get into it a little bit here. So there are certain areas in Factorio that we haven't really had the courage to change for a long time. One of those areas has been the rail system. The rail system needs change. Yes, it does, because it's so restrictive. And, when I know players complain about, well, there's a certain group of folks that complain about, I don't want to do city blocks and stuff. And, well, that's all fine and dandy, but, you got to realize that Factorio is a 90-degree game. The belts are 90 degrees. The buildings are square. They're not round. It's very strict on 90 degrees. And you just have to realize that, and, fight it all you want. I love creativity, of course. But when you fight the norm, it gets tougher on you. And I don't like to make it tougher on myself. I want to enjoy the game, So I gravitate towards city block designs, square 90-degree angles. And now this is going to allow for a lot more flexibility to get away from that, which I'm really liking a lot, because, designing certain things in Factorio Rail is pretty tough. You're pretty stuck to 90-degree with curves in between, And I remember they did update the rail system in between. It was still in early access before 1.0, way before. I think it was I don't know if it was 16, 15 or something, but they allowed for the rail planner. And I don't use the rail planner. It does things that I don't like. But that was their first attempt at it. And now we've got these S-bends. So here's an example of what you can't do currently in Factorio, which is make these connections right here. And you would need to do an S-bend all the way down and back up and to connect to this one or this one here. So really, kind of strict rules there. Now, this is okay. I mean, you can get things done with the rail system as it is, but what happens is your designs have to be larger now. Your rail layout, your whole base is that much bigger, and without the flexibility, it makes it really tough to make things happen. And then they go into here the issue with not being able to put signals, and it kind of screws you with throughput of trains, especially when you're doing a lot of train work, So now they have the S-bend. Now, this is the introduction to the S-bend here. So what this allows us to do is connect to these rail pieces here. So we have the straight, and then this is I call it a fork. Now you can put rail basically 2 tiles away from each rail. You got to say 2 tiles, right? But you can put rail right next to rail and still connect to that. So this is 2 tiles here from here. So now you can connect it. Now, the issue is, though, still remains signaling. You can't signal this. So at the other end, what are you doing? You got to be able to stop these trains from hitting each other. So I don't know how this is going to work. I could see having, take this straight rail out here. Yeah, that's fine. Because then you can signal all 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. But you can't signal these 3 at all. So I don't understand what they're trying to do here. So now they're going into the issue with a S-curve. Yeah, it'd be nice to have the S-curve, but when you're, I think this is 2 tiles, and this is another 2 tiles. So you're kind of stuck with this one tile S, well, 2 tile S turn. And when you want to connect, I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You want it to be a meandering curve, like up, like an S, a long elongated S curve, I guess you could say in this case. Well, here's the idea. Well, have a half diagonal rail between 2 curves, any length S bend. So now you would add these in as you go, but there's more. So here is the issue. So this is okay, so you're looking at geometry here, and it looks kind of bumpy, but I think what they're doing is they're drawing a line, and you can see right here how it gets bumpy and kind of goofy looking. So they have the version 1.1 where the red is, and then the yellow and green, they have these control points. And then there's a straight section. I don't know what that means there. And then they have a diversion from 1.1 rail with the lighter blue there. Then they got the the purple color, new rail shape candidate. Okay, so now we're coming down here, and this one here, they have a control point now, and diversion from 1.1, smooth now. See, it's getting smoother. So they're through their programming here, and I don't want to get into the programming. I'm not a coder or anything like that. So that green line right here that they're showing there, it's smoother. Okay, and then now, boom, there we go. So now what they're doing is they're using what Infospace I think uses is a control point. You click, you drag, click, you drag, you click. So now we have a very smooth rail system there. Pretty cool. Okay, now here is how it's implemented, and it will be in 2.0. So here is the 2.0 versus 1.0. Now it's oh my god, look at the rail now. Okay, look at the graphics on the rail. It's sharper, it stands up now. It sticks up out of the ground or off the rail. So the rails actually look like rails. Well, imagine that. The signals look the same though. Maybe they're a little crisper. I don't know. They look a little better there. But that's the Factorio 2.0 rail system. And the curves are very defined instead of, because yeah, you would have to do a flat piece and then a curve. So it's curve, flat, curve, in order to make this happen. Now it's a complete curve. Ooh, I like that. And then here's some examples of how goofy these rails can get. You go all over the place. Oh, that's so cool. And here's another example of how the rail will look in a building around cliffs and things. It almost makes cliffs more viable as a playthrough, and having a rule, like I know people do challenge runs like you don't remove cliffs and all that stuff. I wouldn't. I don't know. I like to build. I don't want to be have problems. I mean, if you're gonna do a rocket launch and that's it, one and done, yeah. But if you're wanting to do a long, I dedicate to long playthroughs, and this is not going to happen in a long playthrough. You will go absolutely nuts trying to get this to work. But anyway, so yeah, I like this. Look at this curve right here. It's a nice meandering curve. And then you've got all kinds of custom stuff. I like it. I like it a lot, though, because there might be an opportunity where you're just trying to get something working, and boom. Now we got half diagonals here, so you've got a one gap rail. And you can signal this, right? Because you need a gap. See, like I'm saying, you need a gap for the rail signals and all that, chains and all that. There's a 4 tile gap and a 6 tile. Yeah, so 2, 4, 6. And wow. Oh yeah, see, you can't signal this thing. Right, the middle. You can't signal it. Now you can. Look at that. Whoa. Very cool. And yeah, so signal, chain. And then we got, I don't know, it's going this way, I think. That's on this side. Is this left-hand rail? I don't know. Okay, now what's this here? Oh, this is showing the signal now. There's a new feature now where it's showing direction. You can see right here, there's a little arrow. And this is bidirectional here. So it's got the circles, I think. If you have one signal, it shows you an arrow now in the rail planner. I think we'll see here. There's enough candidate signal positions even when times get desperate. You can also notice that the rail segment visualization has been changed. Now it shows the signal direction. There you go. So notice how this has got 2 blocks. So this is like a really crazy, like you wouldn't do this. Like this one should be here. But yeah, it's showing that it's pointing at itself. That's hilarious. And then this signal is pointing down here. And then here's a segment that shows that it's a line and a line. So there's no direction at all. Or it's multi-directional, I guess you could say. You know, trains could do whatever the heck they want on that rail. So there you go. That's pretty cool. I like the circles. That's kind of nice to show that. A circle means bidirectional then. And oh, this is beautiful. Look at it. Just look at this thing. Now, this rail segment here shows organic beauty, right? I mean, this is amazing what you can do with rail now. I mean, just look at this. This makes me excited to play, even more excited to play with trains, because now you can customize a 3-way and you can signal it. And look, it's got, oh my God, look at this, how wide it is. This looks like something you'd see in an old town, you know, that they're just trying to get things done. And, you know, you got the environment you're working against, right? You know, and yeah, let's just get it done, right? So, oh, I love that. That is awesome. Okay, this image here, they're talking about the curve now is 32 tiles, right? And they have updated the length of the wire on the big power pole. So the big curve radius means that 4 tiles in between directions. Now the minimal convenient blueprint module size is 32 tiles. We have increased the big electric pole to 32 to go along with this. Look at that. So yeah, I think it's 32 across in all this. And so yeah, the curves are matching here. And in order to match that, the geometry forced the power pole to change, which is fine by me. Okay. And then we've got some destroyed rail here. They had to so in other words, not only that to redo the rail, they redid the rail image, but they also have to program in the destroyed rail, you know, if it gets mashed up. And then look at this thing. But again, how do you signal this? You can't. So how are you going to control your trains in this case? Unless these are going 5 different directions and they're spinning off. So this is an input to a 5-point drop off in a base. I can see this, you know, 1 to 5. So I like this for like in the Pyanodons, I've got, you know, 32 items to make one thing, right? And they're all coming in, dropping off. This would be nice because then you could do a little S curve and a little drop off. So it would make it a lot tighter, you know, your drop offs. All right, so here you go. We woke up from our dream. Okay, here's a long read here. Graphics process. Oh boy, I'm going to summarize it. There is a lot of things that was born from just the curving of the rail, the geometry, you know, the points that he was talking about up here, where let's see, where is it? Way up here. Yeah, the control points. So the control points are giving you more pixelized abilities here to place rail. So what happens is that the rail signals need to be changed. There's more resolution you need on the rail signal to connect, right? So there's like a pivot to the rail signal, and that's how that little hitbox pops up and you can place a rail. Well, when you got a little weird S-curve, well, now you need more rotation, basically. So I could see a lot of things being born from that need to be recoded, you know? So it's crazy. But yeah, it's going to be great. So the conclusion here, the new Rails are coming as a free update to Factorio 2.0, even without Space Age. Okay. As you could probably guess, the new rail curves will be incompatible with the old ones. Save games from 1.1 can be opened and trains will still run on previously built rails just like normal, but you won't be able to construct the old rails at all anymore. Okay, in some future Factorio update, when we decide to drop 1.1 save game compatibility, let's say 2.1, we'll eventually get rid of the old rail shapes completely. As always, we are thrilled to read and respond to the thoughts you express in the usual places. Oh, that is so cool. So yeah, this is going to be a really good change. I think the key thing here is if you have a current playthrough that you're trying to finish it and then start over with the new rail system. And then the other question I have is blueprints. You know, you can make better blueprints now, better rail blueprints. So there's going to be a whole influx of people who are really into the, you know, getting this stuff to work like this, right? So intersections are going to have to be rebuilt and all that. I would say that four-way intersections are going to be even more possible now because of this. There's been always been an issue with four ways. I don't have a problem with them, but you know, the mega basing, it does make it tough. So you have to do like an offset T kind of thing. So anyway, wow, what do you think about this? I'm really excited about the ability to, the flexibility is there. Whether it makes sense in some, it doesn't make sense in all instances, obviously. But if, you know, like, for example, in this situation here, if you're doing a stacker or, you know, a yard, you know, because there's many ways to explain where trains park, you know, like for LTN or TSM for that matter, this is not going to work for signaling. So you'd have to remove this middle piece. But now you can fit more, instead of 3 trains, this is a 4-train stacker. So you're gaining space, you're gaining more functionality here. And then the ability to spaghetti rail in the beginning is, I think, important. I mean, this is fun. I look at this as fun. You know, you're just trying to get something done. You don't care how it looks. I want to get that next level of part that I can make that better suit in that one crazy mod, Pinodons or wherever. And I just need to get something done. I'm going to rip this up later, but I just want to spaghetti it up and then get that good stuff, right? Get the bots, get my construction bots or whatever. So I look at that as, this is the fun part of Factorio in the beginning, you know? I love this. I love it. I think this is really good too. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully it's going to be better than this. They didn't mention anything. They're not teasing anything. So yeah, let me know what you think about the rail. And I'll see you next week. But, you know, keep in mind, I got other crap going on the channel. So if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button down below. And I'll see you later. Peace out.